What is going on, people of YouTube? Welcome to Let's Talk Video Games, and today we are here to go over the emulator for PlayStation Vita, Vita 3K. This is a full-on guide on the emulator, how to download it, how to set this thing up, how to set up your controller, your resolutions, everything that has to do with the Vita 3K emulator. We will also go into some games that run flawlessly on here and games that run very terribly. And by the end of this video, you will know if you want to download Vita 3K and try it out for yourself. It's completely free. So if you didn't have the money to spend on an actual PS Vita and mod it yourself, you could take this route instead, with the Vita 3K emulator being completely free. So let's get this guide started for 2025. Let's get into it. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is go to our web browser. I have deleted Vita 3K just so that we can do this through here. First thing we're going to want to do is go to Vita 3K. Just Google it in any browser. The first option you should have available to you will be the Vita 3K PlayStation Vita emulator. So here we are on the Vita 3K website, vita3k.org. And this is everything you're going to need to basically set this up. If you want to read about Vita 3K, you can. Here's the quick start guide, your hardware requirements, what you're going to need to actually run these games. Just read this carefully. The first problem you might come up with here is what type of files you will use with dumped games. I don't even really mess with any of the other ones here. I just use no npdrm. I cannot tell you guys where to get your games, but most of the time Google's your friend. Make sure your games say no npdrm in the name. Now we're gonna go to the compatibility list. So you want to go down here. It's gonna show you every game that runs well, the games that don't. So if you're going into this video trying to play a certain game and it doesn't run, you could check here. You could type in any game you want. All the games available are 2,614 games. 1,576 are playable. 354 are in-game plus, which are basically playable. In-game minus is 275. The games that only start up and go into the menu, 133. Just the intro, 143. The game boots in but doesn't get any further than that, 77. And nothing happens, 56 games. So if there's certain games you want to play on here, make sure you check this compatibility list through the vita3k.org website. Now here's a caveat to some of these games that say they are playable. Some of them don't really run well. An example I'll use later, you guys will see, is Dragon Ball Battle of Z. It says it's playable, but for some reason I keep getting these weird glitches. Of course, this Vita 3K emulator is still in the works. You know, it's not the most advanced emulator. They're working on it constantly, which is awesome to see improvements every week. But just know it's still in progress, so we will see more advancements here, and don't expect this to run flawlessly. Now that we are done with that, let's go into the actual download. We're going to want to go to download here, and we are doing the Windows nightly, so you want to grab that, click on it, download that. Now one thing we're going to want to do here is, once this is done downloading, you're going to want to come to your main screen here, and you're going to want to create a new folder here. You're going to name that whatever you want, PS Vita. I'm going to name it Vita 3K. Now we want to go into our downloads, and we're going to go into that. You're going to want to drag and drop all of these into that folder, close that out, go into the Vita 3K folder, and you're going to want to go to the Vita 3K app here. Double click on it, and that will open. You want to go to more info, run anyway, and yeah, it's here, it's up. You're gonna want to choose your language here. You can choose anything that's here. I am in the United States, so I will select that. And wherever you want your emulator path to be, you could change it here. I'm just gonna leave it at that. We come to the install firmware, and this is all the stuff you're gonna need to run these games. So this is to download the firmware, download the font package. You're just gonna need these two. I'm not sure on what this is, but I think that's just another version of this. I'm not sure on that, guys, but I don't mess with this first one here. So you want to go to download firmware. This will take you to the PlayStation Vita software update 3.74. You're going to want to click download here, download update. Now this will come up as can be downloaded securely. You want to click the three little dots here. You want to click keep anyway. That will download. Then we want to go back here. We want to download font package. We will come to this page here. You want to click on this. Same thing here. Three little dots. Keep anyway. And let this finish downloading. So now that those two are done, we want to go to install firmware file. The first thing we're going to want to install is the psvupdat.pub. You want to double click on that. This is installing the firmware. Once this is done, you could delete the firmware installation file. So you would click this. I'm just going to leave it there. Then you want to go to install firmware file again, and this time you want to click on the psp to updat.pub. And same thing here, if you want to delete it, you could go ahead and do that. So now that that's downloaded, you want to click next, and here are some interface settings. If you want to display info message, info bar visible, how many icons you want to see on the home screen. I'm just going to leave all this as it is. So you want to go to next. You have now completed initial setup. Your Vita 3K system is ready. Click OK. So now you will have this welcome to Vita 3K page. You're going to want to close this and create a user. So you're going to come to this page here, create user, choose avatar. You could choose any image you want, but we're just going to leave it at this. Choose your name. I'm just going to put Let's Talk VG. Click OK. Go into Let's Talk VG. Then here you're going to want to click into it. First thing really is the controls. So I have my Xbox Series X controller connected to my PC. So you want to go to controls. You could choose your keyboard controls or controller controls. I already connected my Series X controller. It automatically detected it as number one Xbox Series X controller. You could basically change your bindings for all your buttons here if you want to. I'm just going to close this out since it is connected. As you see there, it's moving. I'm clicking on the actual controller itself. So that's how you set up your controller. Next thing we're going to go into is the configuration. You want to go to settings, and basically everything else here you're gonna leave alone. The only thing you might want to change, depending on what you are running the Vita 3K emulator on, you might want to change this to Vulkan, but we're just gonna leave it at OpenGL right now. So here is where you control your internal resolution. You could scale this up to 4K. That's what I'm gonna do here. If this isn't checked, VSync, make sure you check this box for VSync. It helps with visual tearing. And the anisotropic filtering, I usually put this at 4. And if you want to use the FPS hack, sometimes this causes glitches in the games. I wouldn't recommend putting this on, but if you want to try it out, you could click this here and double your frame rate to 60 frames. So the next thing you're going to want to change here, depending on if you guys want to see this bar at the top here every time you're playing a game or not, you could boot apps in full screen here on the emulator section. So you want to check this box. I usually turn this on because I don't want to see this really when I'm playing. There's another option here for full screen HD Res Pixel Perfect, which gives you a pixel perfect rendering with the HD resolutions 1080p and 4K at the price of slight cropping at the top and the bottom of the screen. So this is another thing that might cause glitches. That is why it is unchecked. But if you want to try that out, go ahead. And that is it for that. You want to save and close. So now that we have everything set up, here we have our settings. Really nothing to note here. Then we have our trophies. Any game you play, you will get trophies for, and you can see the trophies here, which is pretty cool. We have the web browser, which just goes straight to the Vita 3K website, and your content manager, which really you will have no use for here. Next thing here is how to dump your games into this emulator. You want to go to File and install zip vpk. If you do have DLC packages for the different games, you would go to install pkg, but I don't have DLC, so we will go straight to install zip and vpk. So here you can select a directory with all your Vita games. I try not to add too many games because then it bugs the Vita 3K emulator down. So we will just go to select file. I will go and find my ROMs for PS Vita. As you see here, all the ROMs say no NPDRM. I downloaded them just like this. This is how you will need to have them. I'm going to add 99 Vitas. You just double click on that. Installing app. Now it is installed, but before we continue here, you can delete the archive of the game. You could delete the game off of where you have it. I don't do that at all because I always go back and forth on different devices, so I don't want to delete my game, so I just click OK. But if you want to delete the archive, you can. I wouldn't recommend it. So we have 99 Vitas there. As you see, it's green. It's gonna run. Let's go to another game here. Another game I wanted to try out that probably does not work, and that is Dead Nation. Some of these games will take longer to install, so just be patient. We are gonna install Unit 13. We are going to add some fighting games for us to try out: Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Alrighty guys, so that is it for the installation of the individual games themselves. Now we are about to go into the actual games, testing them out. Caveat is some of these still have graphical glitches even though they say they are fully playable, so I wouldn't trust that green circle there on these games because some of these I would actually consider unplayable with the graphical glitches. There also can be a problem with the type of file you have for the game. There could be something wrong in the code for the ROM. There's a lot of problems with this emulator. I actually do want to test out some games that say they don't work just to make sure, just to see if we can actually run these games, but most likely they won't. But without further ado guys, let's get into the testing of the PlayStation Vita ROMs on this Vita 3K emulator for Windows. So here we're gonna try out a couple of games that I know will not work. One of them I thought would, but Killzone Mercenary will not work. You can't even see the words really, they're sort of blurred off. I magically got into the game without being able to read the menus, and eventually the game crashed. So Killzone Mercenary for sure will not work. Hopefully they could fix this one day and it will be playable. But let's try out Dead Nation just for fun. Dead Nation by Housemarque. They make a lot of amazing games, but unfortunately this one will not run. It just keeps loading here at the loading screen after you start the application, and it goes nowhere. Sucks that you can't play it, but hopefully one day we will be able to. Uncharted Golden Abyss, made by Ben Studio. Of course, this is one of the Naughty Dog franchises. But yeah, as you see, starts normally, very normal, and then you see the graphical errors here when it comes to the color and how the game looks. Graphical glitches, all this black tearing in the middle of the screen. Sometimes it goes away when you're in certain areas and then it comes back. Super weird. This game isn't playable, but a couple of years ago I tried playing this and you couldn't even see anything. It was all black. So There has been some improvements in Uncharted Golden Abyss, and hopefully one day they could get this game to be playable. That would be awesome on Vita 3K. Resistance Burning Skies is a 2012 first-person shooter developed by Nihilistic. This is a spin-off of the Resistance games. This was not made by Insomniac, which is why it's probably the worst one. This is considered the worst Resistance. Not really playable. You could probably fully play it this way, but I would not want to experience it this way. This game runs well. The gameplay is fine. Only thing is, everything looks orange and blue for some reason. I don't know why. These lines on the screen here, screen tearing, but I wouldn't really consider it playable with this art style here. Unit 13 says it is playable, but already we saw that graphical glitch there. Unit 13 is a third-person shooter developed by Zipper Interactive, published of course by Sony. Zipper has also made games like the SOCOM games. This one says it's playable, right? And it very much is playable, but as soon as you start the game, you're gonna notice something about it. And here we are with that problem. Everything is in almost neon colors. Again, I would not consider this playable. This isn't the way the game was meant to be played. I would recommend not playing this game through this, but if you want to play the entire game, you can. It's just you're gonna have to deal with all these neon colors. So our first racing game we are trying out here, Asphault Injection, a racing game developed by Gameloft for PlayStation Vita. It was released in 2011 or 2012, depending on if it's Japan or the North American version. And as you already see here, a lot of glitches happening. This is what I'm talking about. This game says it's fully playable on the compatibility list, but would we really consider this playable? Yes, I can play it, but if this distracts you, then really you won't enjoy your time with it. You can mess with the settings to maybe get this to run better, but from what I'm seeing here, I tried out a couple of things like lowering the resolution or the anisotropic filtering, and still really no improvements happened. I honestly think a lot of these games suffer from graphical glitches like this because the PlayStation Vita is obviously a touch device with the front and back touchpad. So a lot of the games are sort of trying to recognize that, and I feel like that really messes with the game itself. Ridge Racer PS Vita. This was a launch title for the PlayStation Vita. Let's see how this game runs. And already we have a problem here, guys. Look at the sky. It doesn't look right, does it? Unless it's pitch black and it's really realistic, I'm pretty sure there's something off here. It's running well, but the sky, would you consider this playable? Some people might. That would really distract me. Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z running on Vita 3K. This is a PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 game ported to PlayStation Vita, I believe in 2014. And this game runs well. This says it's a playable game, but I don't know if you guys can see this. There's some sort of graphical glitch going on the upper left corner, but there's some lines popping in and out throughout the gameplay. There's some technical glitches here, some graphical glitches. During combat, the game does slow down here and there, but the game runs very well. So this, I would say, is very playable. There's just some slowdown and some glitches during gameplay on Vita 3K. Here we have a smaller game that goes by the name of 99 Vidas. Was released for PlayStation Vita in 2017. This is a retro styled side-scrolling beat 'em up and is a fantastic little game. Very fun and runs amazing on Vita 3K. So if you guys want to play another game that basically has no problems through Vita 3K, This is one of those games, obviously, because it is a smaller title and an indie game. Really doesn't take much for it to run well, so that is probably why this runs fantastic on Vita 3K. Metal Slug 3. Metal Slug 3 is a run and gun game developed by SNK. It was originally released in 2000 on the Neo Geo MVS. So of course, this being a smaller game, it's running flawlessly. I love Metal Slug. This is an awesome thing to see. You could play Metal Slug 3 fully on the Vita 3K emulator. Metal Slug 3 I wouldn't say is my favorite Metal Slug, but it's a damn good one. So make sure to check this one out if you guys do download Vita 3K and start emulating some PS Vita titles, because this is a classic. If you haven't played it, you can play it on your PC, also on Vita 3K. Mortal Kombat for PlayStation Vita. This is one of the best fighting games on the PlayStation Vita. This was ported from the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 version. This is also my favorite Mortal Kombat. At least I think it's better than 10, 11, and 1, especially 1. I do not like that game. Mortal Kombat was ported to PlayStation Vita in May of 2012. This is the expanded version, the complete edition. You can see me playing with Kratos here. This is one of the best games you can play on Vita 3K. It runs so well on the emulator. Out of all the games I tried today, this is the best one graphically. It was one of the funnest games I tried today. This game is freaking awesome. If you've never played Mortal Kombat and you do download this, you'll have a good time. And it is a shame that this game is not on modern hardware. It should be. This is one of the best Mortal Kombats, if not the best Mortal Kombat, especially in the last 15 years. And it runs amazing on the PlayStation Vita. And of course, through Vita 3K, you could run it in 4K, almost 60 frames. It runs flawlessly, and it is such a good time. Here we are at the final game, guys. Street Fighter Cross Tekken, released in 2012. This is a crossover between Street Fighter and Tekken. This was ported from PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It later came to the PS Vita, which is awesome to see this fighter on the PlayStation Vita. Out of all the games I have tested so far for Vita 3K, this is by far the most compatible with it. It runs very well, even when changing all settings or your resolution. Runs amazing on Vita 3K. I would consider this to be one of the only games that would probably be better playing it through Vita 3K, since you can up the resolution and make the textures pop more and make it look way better. So if you guys are down to play a fighter, this would be the title to actually play on Vita 3K. That is the end of our testing here. I'm playing some more Mortal Kombat because that game ran so well. I'm really enjoying my time with it. And I just wanted to thank you guys really quick for tuning into this video. We're really trying to grow over here at Let's Talk Video Games. It's just me, but I'm just gonna say we're trying to grow. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content and it helped you out. It really helps me a bunch. And let me know, what games are you guys playing on this Vita 3K emulator? Are there any games you're excited to try out to see if they run well? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.